Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings. Thank you for joining us today. The IOBC, I am State Senator Lakeisha Collins of the 5th Senate District, representing the West Side, near West Side, and near North Side of Chicago. Yeah, I hear the South Side over here. And we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that because we joint, okay? And but no, seriously, this is an honor and a pleasure to have you all down here with us. I think this is the first time since I've been here, since I've seen a strong presence from our community here at our Capitol, where you all pay taxes. So we just heard the governor's state address, and our governor laid out what we call a proposal. It's not in stone, but it is a guide, but it's not final. But what we thought was going to be something that was going to hit our communities very hard. It looks like we're going to fare out a little bit better than what we expected. But we also know that we have someone in the highest office. We have someone who is the leader of the free world who can make some changes that will impact our state. So I just want to be clear. I was going to read from a script today, but I'm just going to speak from the heart, because that's what we do in the Black community. When you have someone who says they want to downsize government, that is not a good thing. That means that they want to shift the cost onto the states, which is a burden on us. But we as the IOBC, we have done some great work, and the governor has been an ally when it comes to our 4 pillars, which you will hear in more detail today. And those 4 pillars are addressing every single systemic thing that happens to us in our communities, and it could not be done without the leadership of the 34 members that I have standing with me today. So I just want to give a shout out really quick to our new leadership of the Joint Black Caucus. Here to my right, I have our Senate Chair, Willie Preston. To my left, I have Justin Slaughter, who is the House Chairman from the South Side. And then I have my co-chairwoman, Rita Mayfield, right here from the 60th District. We have Kim Dublou-Clay from the South Side as well, right here from the 5th District, House Rep. And then we also have our sister from the Senate, Adrienne Johnson, who serves as our treasurer. She could not be here with us today, so keep her lifted in prayers. And then we also have our Sergeant at Arms, Mr. House Rep Will Davis, who is serving on ours. And then we have the House Co-Chair, Maurice West, and then Representative Canty. So our mission is clear. It is to build a more just and equitable Illinois. This means expanding economic opportunities and improving access to quality education, advocating for healthcare equity, and ensuring fairness in our criminal justice system. We know that when Black communities prosper, our entire state prospers. We need equity in education, and it's not just a goal, but it is a necessity. We will continue to work to break these barriers. Economic justice is central to our work, and we want to ensure that we have an environment where Black businesses can flourish so our families can build the generational wealth that they deserve. We will continue to push for reforms that address systemic inequalities, protect our civil rights, and create opportunities for those who have been historically marginalized. Our community deserves fairness, deserves dignity and respect, and a government that works for them. And we can achieve this if we do this together. And so when we hear about these attacks, whether it be attacks on DEI, whether it be attacks on the Department of Education, infrastructure, you name it, oversight, the Department of Labor, you gotta think about that. These are rights that have been fought by our ancestors, our elders. There was a time where Black folks could not even walk into these buildings or sleep in the hotels or eat at the restaurants here in Springfield So our elders have paved the way for all of us. And we got to continue to build on that foundation and move and recharge and energize our communities and get them more involved in the political process and the government process. We have to make sure that we're walking lock and step with one another because we're more powerful in numbers. We have to continue to build with our allies, those who are serious about the liberation of black people, because they understand that if we can thrive, everybody else thrives. Everybody else benefits. Everybody else can contribute to the economic engine here in our state. And so I'm going to yield my time, and I'm going to pass it on to my partner in the Senate, my co-chair here, Senator Willie Preston, to say a few words, and then give our other members an opportunity to speak as well. But before I do, well, I'll let you do that, because he's from the South Side. But I am excited because we have, I'm originally from Inglewood, but I'm excited because we have a special guest here with us today. But I'll let Senator Preston introduce.
Good job. Hello, hello, hello. Whose capital is this? Whose capital is this? I'm State Senator Willie Preston. I proudly represent the South Side of Chicago and the Southwest Side. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of my colleagues standing with me, the Legislative Black Caucus, my brothers and sisters, my soldiers, the people that I trust to come down to this Capitol and do battle on behalf of the communities that we serve. You are why I'm in the state capitol. You are why we are here. And let me be perfectly clear, that if you all continue to come down to this Capitol, you will shape the words that are coming out of our mouths, the bills that we push, and the money that we appropriate to the communities that we live, want to thrive and play in. So I don't want this to be a one-time event. I want to see you, and I want to see your cousins, and I want to see your pastors. I got my pastor, Pastor John Hanna, in the building. I'm going to share a few remarks and not be long here. Okay. I'm coming. Listen, while I am grateful, and I am grateful, that the governor and his staff have worked to find ways to close the previously projected budget deficit, let me be clear. Our work is not done. This was an opening proposal. This is not a time for celebration. Budgets reveal the morals and the values of our state. In Illinois, black communities contribute significantly to the economy. Yet when the budget is finalized, those contributions are not flowing back into our community. We don't need a study. We don't need to commission a group. All you need to do is go to Rockford, East St. Louis, the South Side of Chicago, the West Side of Chicago, Cairo, Illinois, to learn that we are not getting our fair cuts. I want to say something that I did not hear from the governor today. I did not hear enough about what needs to be done to change the trajectory of the black communities across Illinois, Governor Pritzker. And while I applaud you for the work that you continue to do, this proposal does not reflect what I hope we pass in the budget in the spring, because it did not speak about the building trades, bringing back trade schools back to our communities so that we not only bring up the next generation of carpenters, plumbers, electricians, that we rebuild our community by doing what? Rebuilding the black community, rebuilding people. So I want you all to understand that come back down, we want to ensure, yes, that we take care of our education. Yes, that we make sure that we bring businesses, particularly support black businesses in the business corridors throughout our communities. But if we do not come together around the agenda of building our next generation of builders, then I fear that we will make the same mistake from the past. It is time for a new breed of leadership, and I'm grateful to be here with you all because you are that breed that I dreamed of one day. Thank you so much. Now you will hear from our chairman of the House, my brother Chairman Justin Slaughter.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. I am State Representative Justin Slaughter from the South Side. But listen, You all know how we do this. When I say we will, you respond and say rise. We will. Rise. We will. Rise. We will. Rise. We will. Rise. That's right. It's an honor to be the chair of the Illinois House Black Caucus. Between the House and the Senate, we are 34 strong. Take a long look at the members that are behind me, the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus. Between the House and the Senate, we are 34 strong. And make no mistake about it, we are the most powerful sub-caucus in Springfield, in the Capitol, under the dome. We will simply not stand pat and allow systemic racism to continue here in Illinois. And we want to be clear today. We stand here in solidarity, not just as legislators, right, but with the entire black community. That's right. To not just advocate, but to demand that we have a state budget that will adequately address the historical disparities in our communities. Listen, y'all, we've come a long way. Whether it's 1619, slavery, Reconstruction, the Jim Crow era, the Civil Rights Movement, or a modern day mass incarceration crisis, we have persevered. Our heads are bloody, but unbowed. The ILBC demonstrated our resilience when we made history and passed our Black Caucus pillars. This was amazing, but we all know is that these are simply just words on a piece of paper. We must now usher in a new era, a new day, a new chapter, where we have a budget that funds these critical programs, funds these vital services, and funds these very important initiatives so that we can achieve and accomplish the goals and the objectives of our pillars: criminal justice reform, education, health, and economic development. While passing policy is great, it's the alignment and implementation of supportive resources that truly defines our efforts and our commitment. You know what it is. This is all about equity. We must invest in the critical areas of crime and violence prevention, Black maternal health programs, chronic illness and disease prevention, affordable housing, equitable education funding, mental health services, workforce development, and Black-owned business initiatives. If we've said it once, we'll say it again. Blacks in Illinois are disproportionately impacted by every social determinant of health. We will not wait any longer. We will not wait any longer to get the budgetary resources our communities so desperately need and deserve. Let's enjoy this great day of action. We are proud to stand with our Black communities as they've made their way to the Capitol. Give yourselves a round of applause. Let's go to work. Thank you. And now let's hear from more of our great leaders. Just our past joint chair of our great caucus will now address us. That's Representative Carol Ammons.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. I'm not feeling that I got too much out of the address. Culture is power, and boldness sparks change. Culture is power, and boldness sparks change. See, we have heard a lot of things like equality and equity and distribution and resources, but they don't seem to align with the actual carrying out of allocation to our communities. 60 million to 100 million folks died coming across the Atlantic Ocean, enslaved in the belly of the ships. See, there was something mentioned today during that time in 1818, the first Constitution was written in this state that did not include you and me. See, we were in the salt mines at the time, and our existence is not recognized. There was no mention about the fiscal house of the black community. But the vote of the black community is absolutely a #1 target. This is a tragic spirit that I'm experiencing right now. We have to grow our economy, yes. We spent over $1.1 billion in one sector, the governor mentioned in his address. He said we need to live within our means, but our means have been extricated from us for years. We have not received the dollars promised to our communities. We have not. How many in this audience have not received the dollars promised to your organization? This is a budget address. This is not a rally. We want our money. We want our money because we pay taxes in this same state and our communities look the same. From the time I was on the southwest side growing up as a young mother to Champaign, Urbana, and Danville and East St. Louis, we look the same. And we cannot stand in this Capitol as if it is not true. Let me just say this. I wrote a whole speech, but I'll save it for later. What I am clear about is that at this very moment, I'm a no vote on the budget. And until we get to a yes, that means that my community needs to tell me that they are receiving the resources that were promised to them for me to vote yes. My students need to tell me that they got accepted and admitted and can afford to go to our universities in our state. That's how we get to yes. Our communities deserve better health care. Our people are dying, and it ain't because of COVID, it's because of divestment. And we want our money. So, I am always going to stand with the most vulnerable in our community. There's a lot of lobbyists in this building, and I don't work for any of them. I work for the poor people of my district and my state. And our people are under attack. And for them not to even mention what is happening in our communities, not even a slight mention, is an insult to this entire black community that is standing right here with you right now. We must demand, not just by our words, but by our actions, be willing to say no.
Good afternoon. I'm Will Davis, representative of the 30th District. Is anybody out here from the South Suburbs? We hear a lot about the city of Chicago, but all the black people don't live in the city of Chicago. They live all over the state of Illinois. So we are here as the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus to offer a response to the governor's budget. And the one question that I thought about that I would ask each of you is, did you hear something? Did you hear something that applies directly to you? Did you hear something in that budget speech that talks about you and your priorities and your families and your employment and your community? Did you hear it? I didn't either. Now, I chair K-12 appropriations, and the governor talked about more money in what we call EBF, evidence-based funding, for school districts throughout the entire state of Illinois, which is a good thing. It's moving in the right direction. But that's just a small piece of the puzzle when we talk about what it takes and what's necessary to make sure that black people in the state of Illinois get what they deserve. Get what they deserve. So we are here to make sure that we hear you and that you hear us. Because what's important is I look around this rotunda, this balcony, your presence here today is making some people uncomfortable. You are making people uncomfortable because what they've never seen before is that you stand up for what you want and what you deserve. They want to make sure that we are standing always in the background. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're tired of standing in the background. Absolutely tired. Some people might say, and Pastor, you would agree, I'm tired of being sick and tired. It doesn't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. But we are here to show you that we hear and we feel and we understand, because even though we're state legislators, we're just citizens of the state of Illinois, just like all of you. We pay taxes, we live lives, we have families, so we are like you. We are not different from you. So don't necessarily put us in a box and say, well, they're them and we're us. We are all together, ladies and gentlemen. All together, ladies and gentlemen. Our job, our perspective here today is to make sure that you understand that we will fight for what we deserve. We will fight for black families. We will fight for our communities. That is what we're going to do. I'm standing with my colleagues here today in solidarity with all of you. Let's continue to make people under this dome uncomfortable. Make them uncomfortable. Get in their faces. Let them know what's important to you. If you don't say it, they don't hear it, and they don't care. Make them care, ladies and gentlemen. All over this dome, make them care. From here to there, to there, to there, everywhere. Make them hear you and make them understand what's important to you. God bless you. Thank you for being here today.
Good afternoon. I'm State Senator Chris Belt. I'm from the Metro East, from East St. Louis. Yeah, and I have right to my right Representative Sonia Harper. Absolutely. Hey, real quickly, will not be long. I echo the sentiments that have been said already. Listen, at the end of the day, right, to get all the changes that we need, you guys have 34 reasons to believe we'll get it done, right? And that constitutes our Illinois Legislative Black Caucus. We're here. You sent us here to fight. We will fight. And not only will we fight, we will be victorious. But here's the thing. There's stages to this thing. We can pass legislation and we can be successful, but we have to be vigilant. We have to keep our eyes on the prize and make sure the implementation goes the way that it's supposed to. Can we do that? Yeah. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, y'all. I'm Mary Beth Canty. I represent the 54th District of Illinois, and I want to take a moment to recognize the work of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus here. Because of the Black Caucus, we have an evidence-based funding model for our K-12 system. We have a child tax credit. We have full-day kindergarten. We have a new Department of Early Childhood that can focus on important programs like Head Start and Early Head Start. We have paid family leave. Paid family leave, y'all. You didn't get that without the Black Caucus. We got those things because the Black Caucus fought for them. Because what is good for black people across this state is good for all people across this state, and we know it. We've seen some great progress in recent years to advance kids, families, black maternal health, and we have an opportunity today with your presence to continue that good work. So as we go through this budget line by line, it's important to remember that as much good work as we have done, it's far from over. A well-funded education system and family support services have impacts that resound into other areas of importance. Public safety, economic growth, environmental concerns, you name it. But together, this legislative Black Caucus, with you and your voices, is going to make good on the promises that have been made to our communities. We are going to continue to fight for you and for all people across the state of Illinois because it's the right thing to do. It's what we've been doing for centuries. We will not stop down. We will not stand down, and we will keep going. Thank you for being here.
All right. Give them a round of applause one more time, everybody. And so that concludes our speakers for our response, the IOBC response to the governor's address.